My name is Betty Gadrow Walton. I'm 87. I was born in 1935 on December 10th at South County Hospital. I grew up on Broad Rock Lane. It was called Lane then instead of Road, 21 Broad Rock Lane. And it was a wonderful place to grow up. I was near Old Mountain Field, and behind Old Mountain Field we had the reservoir, which we call the Reza, where we learned to swim and we learned to ice skate, and we had frozen ice. We'd skate and have cookouts and marshmallows, and I lived near the Spring Woods where we picked violets to hang May baskets on our mothers. And the Village Green was a big part of my life, and the Guild and the library. Well, at Old Mountain Field we played tennis, and our dog Ruffy would go get the balls and bring them back for us. And they were a little wet then, but the Village Green and the Guild were a huge part of my life. In the Guild we had movies on Friday nights. Mrs. Eaton played the piano, and the mice and the rabbits, they were the silent movies. And then it would be 5 cents, and we would stay afterwards. 7th and 8th graders would stay and dance, and she'd play the piano while we danced. The Guild was also used for people who didn't have bathrooms. They would go there and take a shower, and for 10 cents they got a towel and a cup of cocoa. But on the Village Green in the summer we had the playground, and I attended there all my young lives. We had plays and we had contests, and we had a wonderful time. And later on in my life, when I was married and had 2 little children, I was the instructor on the Village Green playground. And it was 8 weeks, and I worked from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4, and I brought my little ones with me, and they would take a nap in the Guild up where the bedrooms are, and then come back out. And I made $25 a week for 8 weeks each summer. And it was a very special place. This building here was where kindergarten. The kindergarten was up on Kindergarten Hill, up on Spring Street. And the first kindergarten in town was right behind this building in a house. And my mother went to that kindergarten, and it was the first kindergarten in Rhode Island, in America, for poor people or normal people, and it was $1 a year. And all my grandparents and uncles worked in the mills. And so the Hazard family went over to England, and they brought back Miss Sheepstein, and she was the kindergarten teacher when my mother was there. But I think in 1935, they donated it to the town, and they built the kindergarten up on the top of Spring Street. And I went there when I was 3, and I walked from Broad Rock Lane because I became 4 in December. And then I went again when I was 4. And when I was 5, I came here to this building to 1st grade. This building was the overflow from Peacedale School. So down in the auditorium, the big room, was where 1st grade was. And in the room behind here, I went to 3rd and 4th. Whenever there was an overflow at Peacedale School, they came here. So downstairs in the basement, there was a partition, and the 7th and 8th graders were over on that side. And there was a cafeteria on the left. And my mother used to ride her bicycle down, and she served the food in the cafeteria. The lunch was made and prepared at Peacedale School, and it came on a truck with vats, and it was $1 a week for our lunches. But if we got selected to go down and set the table, we got the lunch free that week. My father was a mailman, and he was across the street, the post office was, and he walked 38 years. He peddled the mail and wore his feet out. When I was young, he did the mail route twice a day. So people got their mail in the morning, and then he walked the route again in the afternoon. And never rode in a car, or they would come with the relays and put them and he'd pick up the relays, so he didn't have to carry them the whole town. But he went from Gould Street, High Street, North Road, and long area. And we had an Irish setter named Ruffy who followed my father on the mail route forever.
Memory, Betty.
I guess it would have to be the Village Green. And just the general neighborhood. And how can you imagine a 3-year-old walking from Broadway Lane to the kindergarten, and all the mothers watched the other kids along the way. No one escorted us. So we'd pick up friends along the way, and our mothers would watch us till the next. But there's one particular thing. Oh, sliding downhill. When it snowed, they'd close off Spring Street, and we'd all congregate up by the kindergarten and slide downhill. And they would block off the roads, and that was so much fun. So much fun. And Charlie Sweet, who talked to you earlier, lived there. And there was a man who lived there, had a big brown car, and he parked it in front of Charlie Sweet's house so he could get out if he wanted to when we were sledding. So I was probably 4, and I was on Bland Gardner's back, and we were going belly bumper down. And I said, Bland, let's go under the car and come out the other side. Huey Fitzpatrick was the owner of the car. So he said, okay, so we go under it because I'm on the top and broke my collarbone. My brother and sister were supposed to be watching me, but they weren't doing a very good job of it. Well, I wish that more local history had been taught. I went to school here from kindergarten through 12th grade and then to URI. No one ever mentioned the word Isaac, what's his name, Peace Rodman. We didn't know any local history. I mean, I'm learning all that now, and there was so much more. And I wish the young people, were more interested in history and the people right here that did such wonderful things for the town. I mean, we know that the Hazards did almost everything for us. And when my mother was getting married, they had her bridal shower at the Guild. And the town was right behind the post office. There was Tom O'Brien's store, and that was a store where everybody congregated and bought penny candy. And it was, I don't know, I just wish the sentiments of the younger people were more, and they're not as patriotic as they used to be either. I know when the war came, my mother's 3 brothers were in the war, and my father had 2 brothers that went to Annapolis, and one of them died in the Pacific. And I don't know, we brought into school silver coin for gum wrappers. They said to make ammunition, and we brought in like the dandelion to make parachutes. They told us. Now, whether they made them with the things we brought to school or was just to make us get involved in the war, I'm not sure. But we also, on Fridays, we brought in money and bought stamps and put them in a book, saving stamps. And my mother went down to South County Hospital and folded bandages. And my father, after working on the mail route, he walked from the lighthouse to Scarborough Beach, patrolling for submarines. So everybody kind of got involved in the war effort. Mrs. Hazard was, at Christmas time, we would all come over to the Memorial Hall in the auditorium, and Mrs. Hazard would come and give us gingerbread cookies. And I remember that when the day she died, the church bells all rang for the number of years old she was.